These are the quiet streets of the apple capital of the world, but on this night, an annual tradition among many brings the roar of the monster trucks. The Performance Motorsports Monster Truck Nationals are next. Welcome to the historic city of Winchester, home to George Washington's headquarters, where these quiet streets once echoed with the distant thunder of Revolutionary War artillery, now echoing today with the distant thunder of monstrous racing engines, courtesy of Performance Motorsports Monster Truck Summer Nationals. Three of the Old Dominion's favorite sons are in town tonight, including Brandon Darrow out of Elkton, Virginia, with the big Chevy Bad News Travels Fast. Brandon Budd from down on the banks of the Rappahannock in Culpeper, Virginia, driving Buckshot, and the hometown hero Virginia Giant being driven by Cliff Fowl out of Fairfax, Virginia, down around the DC metro area. And there is one lone out-of-towner in the field, the Buckeye Bowtie, the muscle-clad Samson Rick Steffens out of Circleville, Ohio, for Giant, going into competition when we come back with Performance Motorsports Monster Truck Summer Nationals in Winchester, Virginia. Stay with us.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show, ticket info, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com. And by RPM Army, featuring action-packed content from around the web. Visit rpmarmy.com, your source for motorsports on the go. This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Crush This. For an inside look at the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.
Back with the Performance Motorsports Monster Truck Summer Nationals on a hot evening here in Winchester, Virginia, the Frederick County Fair. One of the annual traditions here has been the monster trucks, and these fans have packed this place to watch the big boys rock and roll here on the red clay surface. This is a pulling track for most of the year, so they can definitely get some good bite with those big Terra tires off the starting line. It's a two-jump, straight-line track when we get to racing, and as I mentioned before, there are 4 machines ready to take on this awesome facility as they do every year. Again, this is a tradition that dates back. I'm going to show you a few flashbacks as we go through the action here tonight. There you see Rick Steffens, as I mentioned before, the lone out-of-towner here in Sampson out of Circleville, Ohio, running against 3 of the Old Dominion's favorite sons. The other lone truck in the field is going to be this guy, the only Ford in the field here tonight with the big Hemi engine in the back, 572 cubic inches, Cliff Fowl in the Virginia Giant. Not a bad start to our wheelie competition, but you can hear he's got a timing issue in that engine right now. He and Barry are going to have to take that back and try to figure out what's going on. It's probably nothing too serious. He may be off a couple of teeth, and if he can get that remedied, he should be able to roar right through this facility. Here comes Rick Steffens now out of Circleville, Ohio, in the Hemi-powered Samson. Beautiful straight up and down sky wheelie, single hit here in the wheelie competition, old school, with the Monster Truck Nationals by Performance Motorsports, and you can see really hanging it out there. Having to be careful getting off to the left-hand side or the right-hand side if you come down the race lane, because there's that FMX ramp right there on the other side of that set of cars. Here comes the big boy Brandon Budd out of Culpeper, Virginia, in Buckshot. Putting that John Gulick horsepower to work. Kind of walking it across that short set of cars right there. Watch him again. 4 cars as he iron walls it and just plants the rear end, dancing it over the last car and down the entry ramp to the race lane. Our final competitor, a fan favorite here in Winchester, Brandon Darrow. Bad news travels fast. Well, he clearly has problems right there. The truck goes dead on him, an electrical issue immediately for the Sign Pro. Bad news travels fast out of the Harrisonburg, Virginia area. That's very unfortunate. As we watch it again, it dies literally as soon as the front end gets in the air. It sounded like the motor went away on him. Not sure if that was an RAI issue or what. They have taken the truck off the track. Your winner, Brandon Budd in buckshot, so he'll pick up the first competition victory of the night. Now we get into qualifying round action. Move right through with Virginia Giant. 4.79 to open things up. Probably not going to hold up for the top spot as he's still having some issues with that engine. He has not had a lot of time to get in there and dissect it and see what's going on. Hopefully he can get that problem remedied before round 1 of racing. We'll see. They made a lot of changes to that truck in the offseason between 2020 and 2021. Sampson now laying down a quick shot, 3.94 to take the number 1 spot away from Virginia Giant. That truck running very nicely. He has probably the best shot to win this racing competition here this weekend. We watch it again, gets the truck on the ground, settles in, and then just puts the foot to it to the final jump. Up next now, Brandon Budd out of Culpeper, Virginia, the big Chevy buckshot. Putting it to work, and look at that, 3.93 by 1/100th of a second. He goes into the number 1 spot. And that will wrap up qualifying. We received word that Brandon Darrow not able to effect repairs on the Bad News Travels Fast machine. In fact, I don't believe he will make it back for racing. You can see, though, Buckshot and Sampson now in a 2-way battle as we have a double elimination bracket coming up with these 3 trucks. And we'll show you how that bracket will work when we get into round 1 coming up here in just a moment. Sampson will take on Virginia Giant. That'll be the only pairing of round number 1. Buckshot will get a bye run and take on the fast loser out of that matchup. The winner of that first round matchup between Sampson and Virginia Giant will get an automatic bye run seat into the final round and will take on the winner of the fast loser Buckshot matchup. So it's interesting as we can kind of project who's going to be there, but we'll have to wait and see when we come back to the Performance Motorsports Monster Truck Summer Nationals.
Hey, welcome to Wildman Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out of.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter.
Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo.
Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
Welcome back to the tradition-rich Frederick County Fair for the Performance Motorsports Monster Truck Summer Nationals. This place has packed with fans for side-by-side monster truck racing. If they weren't already over here, the sounds of power from the Wheelie competition definitely drew them in off the midway for just a moment to watch some of the best monster trucks in the world go down this track. Our first round matchup will be Rick Steffens in the Hemi-powered Chevy Sampson, the muscle-clad machine on the farthest lane from the camera, taking on the Hemi-powered Virginia Giant and Cliff Fowle, who had problems earlier on. We'll see if they've gotten that motor running properly. It will be all Rick Steffens and Sampson. Still problems continuing on the Virginia Giant. A 3.16-second elapsed time, so Sampson better this time from the qualifying round. As he knocks off Virginia Giant, he will get a bye run in the next round and automatically move on into the finals. And speaking of Sampson and Virginia Giant, we're going to take a look back to 1994. Dan Patrick driving Sampson number 2 as the American Gladiator. And you can see how bouncy the ride is with those leaf springs as he takes on this very track. You can see still a rough ride through no man's land, but this was in the early days of these tube frame race trucks. Dale Wilson taking the original tube frame Virginia Giant number 2 from right here in Winchester, Virginia, when the truck still made its home here. These two would match up pretty much the same scenario. Left lane Virginia Giant. This time, no, he got Sampson. Dale Wilson, both of them almost getting disqualified in that round, but Dale would move on into further competition as we head back to the pulling track now. Present day, buckshot. Brandon Budd getting set to make his bye run. Keep in mind, he got the fastest time in qualifying at a 3.93. Sampson has already bettered that. 3.86, so Bud will better his own time. He didn't have anybody to run against him, so he didn't need to put down too quick of a pass on the track, but he'll have to face off with Cliff Allen hailing Virginia Giant right now, so chances are we'll see Brandon Budd in the final round with Rick Steffens, but he has to win this next matchup to get there. Steffens, again, will have the bye run by virtue of knocking off Virginia Giant there in round 1. You can see Brandon Budd pulled right up to the starting line. Cliff Val will now be pulled into stage. Budd ready to go, putting the pressure on the hometown hero, Virginia Giant. Not the prettiest shot. Bud gets into some of the freestyle obstacles right there. We'll have to take another look at it. He will pick up that victory, though, at a 3.89, so he actually slowed down from his bye run, and there you see the damage he did to the front of the van there in the freestyle stack off to the right-hand side of that race lane, and you'll see he had the wheels cocked in the air, and boy, he caught a face full of that van when he came down. Caught it with the right rear tire. Could have been a lot worse had he been further to the right-hand side, but Eddie Jassy, those shocks soaking it up now as Sampson rolls to the line for his bye run. Rick Steffens. Big hang time right there, a 3.19. He slowed down from his round 1 victory over Virginia Giant, but he still has the fastest times on this track as he moves on into the final round to take on Buckshot. He got there by defeating Virginia Giant, which guaranteed him a seat into this final round, provided he made a legal bye run. Buckshot, by virtue of being the fastest qualifier, guaranteed himself a second round matchup. So it was almost to your benefit to qualify on the second spot now with only 3 trucks in the bracket, as this was originally supposed to be a 4-truck bracket, but we moved to that double elim setup, which was not favoring Virginia Giant tonight. Cliff and Barry right now are pulling that truck apart. They're going to try to get it running right for freestyle as we get ready for this final round matchup. Brandon Budd in Buckshot. He was your fast qualifier. He has the momentum right now going into this final round race as far as victories go. He was your fast qualifier and your wheelie competition winner, but he's been slower so far on this track than Sampson. Who's it going to be? Wow, how can you get any closer than that? It looked like Sampson may have had the edge coming past the cars, but Brandon Budd, we're still waiting to hear who got that win. They both pull around to the tower to find out who got that racing victory. Bud was first to the cars by a nose. Brandon Budd in Buckshot picks up the victory by 1/100th of a second, maybe less. They had to go to the photo finish to find out. So Brandon Budd right now is 2 for 3. Can he make it 3 for 3 and pick up a freestyle victory? We'll find out when we come back. This place is packed with monster truck fans ready to watch these machines rock this place in freestyle. The man in the orange shirt off to the right-hand side of the screen, that is the man who made this name legendary, Deal Wilson, who brought all 4 of these trucks here this weekend to perform in front of this crowd. It's great that Deal is still a big part of this community, and this is the name, as I said, he made famous from right here in Winchester, Virginia. Now out of Fairfax, Virginia, Cliff Vowell at the wheel of Virginia Giant, ready to throw it down. And, oh yeah, it sounds like he and Barry got those engine problems worked out. Barry said that timing was off 1 tooth. He got in there, fixed it, and this truck is working nearly perfectly right now. Let's see what Cliff has for this freestyle run. Just getting warmed up. Has a nice one going there as he stops for a moment. Does he have another problem? Wait and see as he gets the truck turned around. There he comes. May have just been tightening the belts. Oh yeah, he's coming after it now. Ready to cut it loose. Cliff Vowell got it warmed up, and now let's see if he hits any of the big stuff. Right out center track with some nice hang time. The big Hemi-powered Ford going to work here on the pulling track in the Frederick County Fair. Huge hang time for the Giant, and he just broke a tie rod in the rear end. You can see the tires towed in right there, not the way he wanted to wrap that run up. Solid start to our freestyle competition. I think the only thing you can say that may hurt him at the end of tonight's competition is that he had just gotten the run really going. He was not ready to wrap that thing up with that big hit there. Not that one, but this next one that we're going to show you. Pitched him, I think, a little bit harder than he thought it was gonna. He comes down right on that right-hand rear tire. Just straighten that Heim right out. They start as a nice circular eyelet. Turned it into a capital letter C. You can see right there the tires again towed in, and you don't want to try to run one of these trucks real hard like that. Certainly not that one. We don't want to see that beautiful body get laid over on the ground as Samson now comes out of Circleville, Ohio. Rick Steffens in the muscle-clad Buckeye bow tie. New for 2021, Samson getting ready to go to work, and they've made incremental changes in all of these Patrick Enterprises chassis over the years, and he almost got himself in big trouble right there as he stuffs the left front tire into the race lane. Ready to put it to work. That could have been disastrous, but the truck comes through it. You can see how well this new Samson soaks up everything he throws at it. And watch out for those FMX ramps out there. Those guys would not be happy if you mow over their ramps with all these big monster trucks. And he is rocking and rolling right now. As I said, they don't change each of these Patrick Enterprises trucks too much as they go through their generations. Little incremental changes so they know it's basically a proven design. Each time out they add something that gets it a little more into the next step, into the future. And Rick Steffens definitely showing the wear that this amazing piece of equipment has. Look at that right there. Got a lot out of that. Normally going up those entry ramps, you don't tend to get a lot, but he's making it work for him. He's going to wrap it up right there. I got to say, that's going to be a takeover run for Rick Steffens. Another look at this move. Just averting disaster. He could have ripped the front housing completely out from under the truck if he had hit that any harder. I don't think he had expected it to throw him to the left quite that hard. And then again, just these wild landings the truck was taking, and it just soaks it right up. It's just a great piece of equipment that came out of that shop there in Circleville, Ohio, and can't wait to see more of him down the road. Always love seeing Rick up and down the highway here with the monster trucks. Now, next machine out, one that we didn't know if we were going to see back on the track this This right here should be a victory in and of itself. Electrical problems sidelined him for most of the competition, but Brandon Darrow out of Elkton, Virginia gets ready to put the foot to it, and bad news travels fast. The Sign Pro sponsored Chevrolet out of the Old Dominion. The nice sky wheelie going right there. As I said, it kind of seems to be kicking these guys off to the left and trying to avoid those FMX ramps at all costs. But interesting to see if he can get his trademark slap wheelies in on this course tonight. It's drying out, even though they've been watering it. I think he was going for one right there, but he just didn't get the right bounce to set it back on the rear tires. There's also not a lot of room before you get to that tree line. You don't want to end up in the school parking lot on the other side of that concrete wall. Laying down, he had the same problem there that Steffens did, but he didn't hit that race lane quite as hard. Beautiful truck out of Elkton, Virginia. Brandon picked up this machine and this namesake back in 2012, and he's been doing it proud ever since, carrying on the legacy for Bruce Haney out of Bronson, Florida. Now this truck out of Elkton, Virginia, just showing off. Always comes out with a different nuanced paint job every year, and they've been carrying these old school colors. You got to remember the original Bad News Travels Fast started life as the second Excalibur, the Excalibur Racer, so it had those orange and red and yellow colors, and it's great to see Brandon and his family put those old school colors back on this awesome Patrick Chassis monster truck. He's putting it to work. Got him a nice run going. I think going for that slap wheelie again and take nothing away from him, even if he can't get his trademark move in there. This is a morale booster in and of itself, because they did not even know if they were going to make the field as he wraps that run up, and the crowd absolutely loves Brandon Darrow. I don't know if it's going to be a takeover run. It might, though. He is a fan favorite here at the Frederick County Fair. Look at him now, launching the truck nicely. Again, they're all getting kicked off toward those FMX ramps, so they're having to be very wary when they come down over there. Had some nice hang time, had good momentum. And again, great to see him back out here on the track, because every time they pulled the truck out previously, it basically would not stay fired. As you saw in the wheelie competition, it wasn't the only time tonight they tried to get it out here on the track, but they worked diligently as our final competitor now rolls out of Culpeper, Virginia, along the banks of the Rappahannock. Brandon Budd and Buckshot. Huge hit to open things up. He's sticking that front end there. You got a little slap wheelie out of it right there. He'd love to take that bag of tricks that Brandon Darrow usually has and use it for himself. And kick a little dirt on the old Bad News Travels Fast over there. Another awesome hit. There's another slap wheelie out of Brandon Budd. Tell you what, those guys are good friends off the track, but you want to talk about one of the toughest, most diligent competitors in monster truck competition, Brandon Budd will stop at nothing to try to get himself a victory once he comes out onto the dirt, onto the track. He will run that truck for everything it's got. Laying it down, you gotta say, he's probably had the best momentum of anybody out here, and it looks like he's going for the stopping. Couldn't quite get there, and he just roasted a transmission. He is gonna get an earful from Samantha tonight. This is supposed to be a quick home state show, put it in the trailer and go on down the road, and they're going to have to replace an input shaft, I'm almost sure, after that. A great run for Brandon Budd. Even though it was cut short, I have a feeling he may have just taken over the win. He had the biggest hang time. That was the loudest, quickest, fastest freestyle all night long. So we'll see what Brandon, but look at this, hang time, just kicking off pieces of what was left. He had to run over what was left of the track, so had to hit it as hard as he could, and he indeed does take the freestyle and the overall here tonight. And Winchester, a big congratulations to Brandon Budd out of Culpeper, Virginia for that victory. We want to thank you for being with us. It's great to be this close to home. We get to sleep in our own beds tonight after one of the best shows this fairgrounds has ever seen. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time.